give you a sense of what the weather is like today. It's not the typical paradise-like weather that I think most people think of when you think of San Diego. August and September are going to be by far the hottest times of the year. And check this out, the temperature, it's right about 80 degrees, which is not super unusual, but what is unusual is the humidity factor. I'm heading down towards the San Diego Bay, so we can get a little cooler by the water. As far as the forecast for the rest of the week, it's only expected to get hotter. Con number one is going to definitely be, it gets a little bit too hot in August and September in San Diego. Beautiful out here today, but I gotta tell you, it's still a little bit warm. I'm roasting, so we're gonna finish the rest inside, but check out, looks like a little rehearsal happening, our own private little concert. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty toasty outside. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I got the air conditioning on blast, so let's get back to it. I'm sure you're probably feeling pretty curious about what it's like to either live in San Diego or just vacation here. And I'm here to tell you, life in San Diego, although it's pretty close, the reality is life in San Diego is probably a little bit different than I think what a lot of people picture when they think of San Diego, especially if you've never been to San Diego. I'm gonna give you everything that I think you should know. I know a thing or two about San Diego. I've been here for just over 27 years. I've experienced both the good and the bad, so I'm gonna fill you in on exactly what at least my experience of living in San Diego has been like. So should we start with the good news or the bad news? Let's start with the bad news first.
Give me the bad news, give me the bad news!
We already talked about the weather, and we're gonna talk about the weather again, by the way. I think another con that you need to be aware of in San Diego is going to be the traffic. Pretty much everybody in San Diego, or most people, to get around, you're gonna need a car. The public transportation, it exists here. There's a trolley, there's a train, there's Uber, there's electric scooters in the city, but realistically, if you live in San Diego, you're gonna need access to a car. It used to be, and it wasn't that long ago, if somebody asked you, oh, how far is that from point A to point B in San Diego, pretty much anywhere in San Diego, the default answer was gonna be 15 minutes. Well, that's not really the case so much anymore. Anytime I'm driving any considerable distance, if I'm gonna be on the highway, I'm gonna be checking Google Maps. So I wanna see what the highways are looking like, what the traffic situation is looking like. There's a lot of cars on the road in San Diego. And it's not just the highways that are like that sometimes. There's a lot of construction and a lot of projects, which in and of itself is a good thing. You're building a lot of new infrastructure, fixing roads, building apartments, building homes, all that good kind of stuff. That's great. When that happens, and this is a tip for the city, if you're in the city, there's a lot of apartments, for example, being built right now. There's a lot of road work going on, and it's needed. Construction workers will shut down 1, maybe 2 lanes. So you have like a road like 10th Avenue, let's say. It's normally a 3-lane road because you get a lot of traffic that moves down 10th Avenue off the highway. When there's only 1 lane open, it's a big problem and it can cause some serious gridlock. And I just mentioned it, but let me say it again. So con number 3 is gonna be the fact that there's a lot of construction happening in a lot of different places in San Diego. You gotta remember, if you're out driving, construction can create traffic. So the next con I want to talk about right now is going to be the homeless situation, especially in communities near the beach and or downtown, like in the city area. So there's a lot of homeless activity and it's increasing right now, not decreasing. The city claims to be doing a lot and trying to fix the problem, but I think it's pretty clear at this point, they don't have any idea how to fix the problem. So just keep that in mind. If you're gonna be living in anywhere in a lot of the most desirable areas, like anywhere near the beach, the coastline, the city, you're gonna be dealing with homeless activity. I personally haven't had a problem with a homeless person yet, but you always gotta be safe, you gotta be vigilant. You just don't know. There's a lot of like mental health issues going on, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so the next con, I think everybody's talking about this con. It kind of applies to pretty much every city right now, pretty much the entire world, it feels like, is gonna be the cost of living. The cost of living is going up. There's a lot of drivers there, but there's really nothing at this point that I would say San Diego is gonna be inexpensive on relative to any other state or any other city.
What? Well, that doesn't sound good.
expect to be paying a premium. Mortgages, rents, they're all gonna be expensive. Utilities, I mean, right now I'm sitting here, it's hot outside, right? I'm pumping that AC, I'm gonna be paid for it. It's not inexpensive by any means. And to top that off, there was a study in March and they determined that San Diego is the least affordable, as far as like for housing, affordable city or county in the entire nation. And that kind of speaks to the next con is gonna be housing. It is not inexpensive by any means. There's no real decent, like great areas, I would say, or at least that I'm aware of. If you are aware, drop it in the comments, where you can find reasonable rents or reasonably priced homes for sale or condos that I would at least say are inexpensive. And it's kind of interesting with housing, although there's a shift happening in the housing market right now, definitely keep an eye on that. But right now, what you're renting and what you're paying like in a mortgage, a lot of the times the rents are even higher than what you'd pay in a mortgage. Just like the cost of living, and housing is a big part of the cost of living, you're gonna be paying a premium to rent or to buy a house and pay a mortgage. Okay, so the next con I wanna talk about is gonna be cars. I know what you're thinking. Hey Wes, we just talked about cars, traffic. This is gonna be a little different because there are so many cars. Most people have a car. In San Diego, you got a lot of different types of cars that people like cars, trucks, fast cars, electric cars, all kinds of stuff. But there's things that might drive you nuts. So I picture this, you're living in the city, it's late, 11:30 at night, maybe you're trying to go to sleep early for work, and you get somebody with like a jacked up like muffler on their car, you know, revving high down the street because they want everybody else to hear it. Or you might get the same thing happen with like big truck, you know, just loud trucks. I mean, some people like very loud engines and cars. Not me, and I don't get it. There's just a lot of different types of people, cars in the road. When you're out driving, you just don't know all the time what you're going to encounter. So you need to be vigilant and aware. All right, that's going to be my cons list. If you're living here, you visit San Diego, stuff that bothers you, throw it in the comments. Let us all know what you don't like about San Diego. But for now, that's enough complaining from me because I don't like to complain at all. Let's talk about the pros because, well, San Diego is an awesome place to live. We're gonna circle back for pro number one and we're gonna talk about the weather. I know it's hot today and I got the air conditioning blasted, but this is not the vast majority of the year. This is about not even 2 months of the year. The most of the time, it's gonna be that amazing, like perfect kind of weather that most people think of when you think of San Diego. Like that 70 degrees, scattered clouds, blue sky. That's what the weather's normally gonna be like, and that's what you can expect, unless it's August or September. Pro number two is gonna be the beach. It is so much fun to go to the beach. There's all kinds of different beaches in San Diego. I've got a few different ones that I like to go to. I like to go to a couple in Encinitas. Coronado's fun to go out. It's very different than the Encinitas beaches, for example. Everybody's heard of Mission Beach, like Pacific Beach, where the roller coaster is, Belmont Park. That's a whole different experience, ton of fun. There's so many great beaches. You can go all the way up to like Oceanside, great beaches, Carlsbad, amazing beaches. For the most part, most of them are gonna be easily accessible, maybe a short walk at most. Most of them are gonna have sand. And this is kind of funny. So a lot of people think of La Jolla as like this amazing place in San Diego. It is amazing, but a lot of people don't realize there's one part of La Jolla that La Jolla Shores, which is like the sand area and people go to the beach, but the majority of La Jolla is gonna be like rocks and cliffs.
Is that a fact?
Another pro is gonna be the fact that San Diego is a tourist destination and there are so many tourist attractions to take advantage of. You've been watching my channel, you've probably seen me take advantage of some of the tourist attractions like riding the tour trolley around and doing like the San Diego Bay cruise. But there's so much other great stuff to do. You can go to Balboa Park anytime you want. You can go to the San Diego Zoo. You can go to SeaWorld. You can go to the Safari Park. I mean, there's Legoland. You've got all this stuff set up for vacationers. Why not take advantage of it? A lot of cities, towns, counties throughout the entire country are not gonna be like that. We are so lucky in San Diego. Next pro I wanna talk about is gonna be an outdoor lifestyle. So this is gonna be tied heavily with the weather. Just to name a few of the things that I like to do are gonna be, you go out surfing, you can go hiking, paddleboarding. I just kind of got into that. I got this cool new inflatable paddleboard. I'm gonna be doing a specific video on that. I pump it up, spend a couple hours on the water when I'm done, deflate it, pack it up. It all goes down into this like super compact set, and then you put it in a backpack. I'll be doing a video though shortly on that. It's so much fun. There's organized adult leagues. I mean, there's gonna be leagues for kids, of course, but if you're an adult, there's gonna be like flag football. You can go out and play volleyball. Amazing golf courses. I mean, most people have heard of Torrey Pines. There are equestrian centers, if that's your thing. There's even, if you go out to some of the outskirts, like the desert areas, there's like a racetrack. There's gonna be like campgrounds. I mean, campgrounds like near the beach and the water. There's gonna be campgrounds kind of out into what we call the forest. It's not pine trees, usually like oak trees, but it's still a lot of fun. Next pro is gonna be the neighborhoods as far as like where you can live. So the options to live are gonna be super diverse. Depending on what you like, there's gonna be like the city type living, which is gonna be downtown. Most popular neighborhoods there are gonna be like Little Italy, East Village, the Marina District, Columbia District, and then maybe like Cortez Hill. But outside of there, if you're looking for more of like a beach lifestyle, depending on what kind of beach style, if you want quiet beach lifestyle, there's certain areas, there's gonna be like places in Encinitas that are great, like Carlsbad, Cardiff is part of Encinitas, but Del Mar, it can be a little more expensive than Del Mar, but Del Mar is amazing. If you're looking for that old school, like craftsman style house, maybe that Spanish colonial style house, and you want that neighborhood feel, areas like North Park would be good, like Normal Heights, great neighborhood. South Park's a great, very popular neighborhood. Kensington is incredible, that Spanish style, it's gonna be everywhere. And then there are gonna be those areas that are outside of like the traditional neighborhoods. Maybe you want a house, maybe you want a little bit of land, like an acre or two, that type of setup where your next neighbor is a little bit farther away, you can't really see them so much. So areas like that are gonna be Fallbrook to the north, super popular, actually well known for like their avocados. And then you're gonna have like Alpine as you go out east, areas like Lakeside, maybe even like Ramona. People, you can have like actual livestock, like horses, all that kind of stuff. So, and then there's gonna be like the traditional suburbs. So I would say like right now, and there's suburbs everywhere. You're gonna find the suburbs in like South San Diego, like Chula Vista, Otay. And then there's gonna be the other suburbs, which are gonna be like Carmel Valley, Carlsbad is super popular for their suburbs, Poway, Rancho Penasquitas, Rancho Bernardo, great areas with like great schools. Definitely have that like neighborhood feel. So if you're like a family thinking about moving here, those would be the places to focus on. The next pro that I want to talk about is going to be the fact that San Diego is extremely dog friendly. I should say pet friendly. It's not always just dogs. Because the weather is so great here, a lot of the restaurants, places you want to go, even shops, I mean, a lot of them are indoor, outdoor, and a lot of them, like a coffee shop, let's say you walk up and you'll see like a little bowl like for water for like dogs, or I guess cat if you ever bring your cat out with you. I remember I was in this one place and it was like late. This guy comes in and he's got his pet cockatoo. So he's got this like big talking parrot. He walks in with extremely pet friendly in San Diego. And the last pro that I want to talk about, this is not the only pro. If you've got your pros that you want to add to this list, just like the cons, throw them in the comments because we all want to see them. The last pro I'm going to talk about is going to be the fact that we have the #1 Major League Baseball ballpark in the entire nation. So if you haven't been, you check it out and you let me know what you think, but it is so much fun to go to a Padres game. Whether the Padres are your team or not, you got to go to a game at Petco Park. A lot of the super like well-known, the better like restaurants are going to be represented in the ballpark. A lot of like the craft beer. I mean, San Diego is a big craft beer scene. They're going to be represented in the ballpark as well. It's just a lot of fun. They're going to have night games. They're going to have games during the day. Like Friday night is a super fun night to go. Saturday is like a really good day to go for like families. They do a lot of the giveaways on Saturdays. Sunday is going to be military day, so they'll dedicate like a portion of the park, and you'll see like a lot of like the new Marine recruits, for example, will be there. So it's a lot of fun. And then there's going to be games throughout the week, so it's kind of fun. Every now and then you go play hooky, go to like a game on like the middle of a Wednesday. Game starts at like 1 p.m. So check it out, Petco Park. Awesome experience. It's not exactly what I think a lot of people picture it. So to start this, so you already know the weather. Another con you need to consider about San Diego is what? Okay. So the next time, it hasn't been, but I have hiking, all the water sports, surfing, if you're looking for more Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching the video to the end. If you enjoyed the content, it would help me out a ton if you considered subscribing to the channel. You can do that by clicking this guy right here. Just click on that guy right there, that little circle. And if you're looking for your next video to watch, maybe check out one of these two. I think you might like them. Have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next one.